I have some observers here in the kitchen today, Francesca and Sharkey. They want to learn how to make French toast, and I'm sure you do too. French toast can be a little challenging to make if you're serving more than a few people. That's why we came up with the idea of transforming my favorite French toast recipe into one I call oven-baked French toast. Now I can make 12 slices at a time, and you can too. Let me show you. We love to make French toast with flavorful bread. A wonderful challah bread. You can use a French brioche like this. The French call French toast pain perdu, lost bread, because it's a way of reviving bread. And French bread, you know, becomes dry after a day sitting on your counter, and you have to do something with it, make it into breadcrumbs or French toast. But the brioche, I'm using a fresh loaf. It can be a day-old loaf too. And I'm going to use the end slice because we have hungry people and I don't even like to waste the end. I would cut the crust off just from the end and cut the bread into 1/2-inch slices, maybe a little thicker than 1/2 inch. Using a serrated knife like this makes the slicing very easy. You can use store-bought white thick sliced bread. If you're on a diet, you can use thin sliced bread, but don't up the slices that you consume. So there we have just the right number of slices. Hey dogs, are you waiting for your French toast? They haven't had breakfast yet, and they're going to get hungry. So 6 eggs, 6 large eggs in a big bowl for 1 loaf or 12 slices of bread. And these are farm fresh eggs. I just collected them from the hen house, and they are so beautiful, really hard-shelled and gorgeous yellow yolks. 6. And break those up with a whisk or with a fork. 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. You can use heavy cream if you want. You can use 1/2 and 1/2. Mom used to use whatever was in the kitchen. So 1 1/4 cups of milk. And very important, the flavoring. A big pinch of salt. I use kosher salt. 1 tablespoon of sanding sugar. I'm using sanding sugar because it's a little bit sparkly and a little bit larger grain than regular granulated sugar, but you can use regular sugar. And 2 1/2 tablespoons, this is kind of important, the orange flavored liqueur. I'm sure in your liquor cupboard you have some orange flavored liqueur. So 2 1/2 tablespoons. And the zest of a nice bright skinned orange. I find this is the easiest way to zest an orange or a lemon. If you don't have an orange, you could use lemon. But the orange just adds such a great flavor with the orange liqueur. Approximately 1 1/2 teaspoons of orange zest. And cut the orange in half and just squeeze about 2 tablespoons of orange juice right into your mixture. Again, it just adds a flavorful deliciousness to the mixture. Now, I have 2 baking sheets lined with a non-stick pad. The oven is preheated to 375 degrees, and these non-stick pads are very, very good for lack of cleanup. You're gonna have everything on the pad and it just comes right off. It also is non-stick. You could use parchment, but not in this recipe because we're going to put these under the broiler and parchment would burn. And now, soak your bread, but not too long. You want to just dip it one side, turn it over. Notice how I'm using the fresh slice of bread to keep the drips right here. It's just a little tip. Just lift it out. Don't leave it in too long because the bread tends to soak up a lot of this liquid. And just continue doing this until the liquid is used up and the bread is all soaked. Boy, does that look delicious. And how nice that you're not frying anything. That's the beauty of this particular French toast recipe. Just letting the last slice soak everything. Now take this to a 375 degree preheated oven, put it on the middle rack, And I have 2 ovens here. I'm just putting one in the top and one in the bottom. 10 minutes. Look how nice and golden these look, but they need to get a little bit brown. So make sure that the oven is on broil at 480 degrees and watch it 2 to 3 minutes. Done. This is really attractive looking, really delicious. Now, my brothers could eat, about 6 pieces of this each. I could eat 2. How about you? I suggest that you invite some friends over this weekend. Make a nice breakfast. Serve it hot out of the oven. It's best that way. And I would sprinkle with a little bit more sugar. Since we haven't fried this, and there's no grease and no calories from butter, you could even add a little tiny bit of butter on top, like that. Let it melt right into the hot toast. That should melt nicely. And then a little bit of syrup. Real Vermont maple syrup, or Maine or New Hampshire or New York State. And that is a delicious breakfast. Enjoy.